Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. We've got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. I have 5 NBA player props to go ahead and share with you guys in today's NBA slate. But first, guys, before we dive into today's picks, a quick little recap of how we did last night. And overall, guys, just kind of a frustrating night. Now, we did mention in yesterday's video, so I don't want to get any slack for this. I said that if Zachary Risacher does not play, the Nickeil Alexander-Walker prop gets voided. So that play does get voided. And predictably, he did cash the over because Risacher and a couple other pieces were out. Draymond Green, under 5.5 assists. He finished with 6. He had 4 assists with like 7 or 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. I thought we'd have it. He finishes with 6 assists. De'Aaron Fox, same thing. Finishes with 26 points. So we get with 2 losses on the hook there. De'Aaron Fox had 24 points with like 7.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Only has 2 minutes the rest of the way. Very frustrating result. At least Luka did come through for us, and he almost cashed it in points alone. So frustrating result for sure, but we were pretty close on the money there. We had the right reads for the most part, but just 1 assist or 1 point mess us up. It's okay though, guys. We have 5 fresh new player props in today's video, and I'm feeling pretty good about today's slate. So let's go ahead and break it down. All right, guys, getting right after, jumping right into the outlier screen. Our first player prop in today's video comes from the Hornets-Pacers game. 7 p.m. tip-off tonight. We have Andrew Nembhard of the Indiana Pacers over 24.5 points plus assists, which I am grabbing for -115 over on BetMGM. Best odds available to me. Now, this pick is all about the matchup. For starters, Nembhard has only played 7 games this year, so not a very big sample size from this year's numbers. However, in those 7 games, he's cashed the over in 4 of 7. That's a 57% hit rate, averaging 23.71 points plus assists per game overall this season. We scroll down below here, look at the usage rate for Andrew Nembhard here. You do see a good amount of volume. He's averaging around 28.5 minutes per game, and honestly, that first game kind of skews it, that Thunder game. If you do go through the rest of them, he's right around 30 minutes per game. He's taking about 13.3 shot attempts per game, although you do see it's starting to descend a little bit. They get Mathurin back. They're starting to get some pieces back. But he takes almost 6 threes per game, and he has 11.7 potential assists per game. So overall, solid numbers. It's not the best data we've ever seen. But again, like I said, it's all about the matchup. We go over the dashboard here over on Guy Boston Sports, and we scroll up here to this Pacers-Hornets game, right? And we zoom in here. Now, Andrew Nembhard obviously is playing point guard with all the injuries they have with, Halliburton being out and whatnot. He's in that point guard role. You see the Hornets defense versus point guards last 7 games, 24th in points and 22nd in assists, as well as 24th in three-pointers allowed, which obviously is very big here for Nembhard, who is a very good three-point shooter. And if you do look at the left side of the screen here, look at the points allowed from 3 numbers, from an overall standpoint, the Hornets 20th this season in the NBA in terms of points allowed from 3. Home and away is very interesting. On the road, they are in Indiana for this game. On the road this year, the Hornets 26th in the NBA in 3 points allowed. And then last 3 games, they're 15th. So this is not a very good defense in terms of allowing a lot of three-pointers. Obviously, you have Andrew Nembhard, a player who is a very good three-point shooter, who shoots a pretty decent volume. Again, we go back over to the outlier screen here, and you do see so far this year, he's taking around 6 threes per game. Now, you have seen volume drop off a little bit lately, but considering the matchup here, I think it's a very good spot to go ahead and tail Andrew Nembhard. Again, don't put your house on it necessarily, but I do like the spot here from a matchup standpoint. The Pacers team, even look at the lineup, yes, they're getting some pieces back. Mathurin is back, but you still have some guys who are unusual starters here. Jarace Walker, Isaiah Jackson. Okay, I do think in this spot, Nembhard would be a good option to go ahead and tail. Again, the Hornets not very good of late defending point guards, although from an overall season perspective, they actually are pretty decent. 9th in points and 6th in assists. When you narrow it down to just the last 7 games, you do obviously see they rank a little bit lower in that spectrum. So I think it's a good matchup spot here for Nembhard as the first player prop in today's video. All right, guys, our second player prop in today's video comes from the Rockets Cavs game, 7 p.m. tip-off. A little bit of better data here in this spot. By the way, guys, we're about to hit the 5-minute mark in today's video. So if you are watching today's video at this point, please go ahead and comment 5 down below in the comment section. As always, guys, we truly appreciate those who watch through each and every single video here on the channel. So Donovan Mitchell over 33.5 points plus assists. I'm grabbing it for -119 over on DraftKings. And unlike the last player prop, this one, the data is very strong. 13 games this year, Donovan Mitchell has cashed the over. In 10 of those 13 games, it's a 77% hit rate, averaging 36.46 points plus assists per game overall this year. He's cashed it in 5 straight games. He's cashed it in 7 of his last 8 games to kind of narrow it down a bit. So really good numbers across the board here for Donovan Mitchell. From a head-to-head standpoint, he played the Rockets twice last year. The first meeting did not go great, 19 points and 3 assists. The last meeting, though, on January 25th, which is a couple days later, he had 33 points and 7 assists. Again, both from last year, the Rockets also a very different looking team this year. In general. Now, Donovan Mitchell, with the injury to Darius Garland, is playing more of a point guard role for this team. You do see overall this year, the Rockets pretty good defensively against point guards from an overall season perspective, okay? 3rd best defense in points, 11th best in assists. However, we go back to the dashboard. Again, it's all about what have you done for me lately, not so much from an overall picture, right? From the last 7 games, you do see the Rockets 26th in points, 6th in assists, and 30th in 3-pointers. So they are the worst defense over the last 7 games in terms of allowing threes to the point guard position. And you see Donovan Mitchell shooting very well from 3 this year. And if we go down below, we'll just look at the last 5 games, for example, and look at the 3-point. He's taking almost 12 threes per game on average, almost 23 shots per game. So a very high volume here. And obviously with no Garland, that's a big reason why. If we go ahead and put a filter here and show games without Darius Garland to see what the numbers look like, you see so far this year, he's cashed this line in 8 of 10 games without Garland. Look at the last 5. Again, this would be though just the last 5 games without Garland. And you do see the volume, the number of shots, the minutes played, everything is massively increased here for Donovan Mitchell. So it's a really good spot. Even the last 20 games without Garland, a 63% hit rate, averaging 33 points plus assists per game. You look at the numbers with Garland now. Just go ahead and switch this here with Garland. And you see just 8 of his last 20 games, he's cashed the over. So obviously different. You look down below here at his workload, obviously fewer shots, fewer attempts in a lot of different categories. So obviously no Garland is key. It's huge here. And again, the Rockets have lately been pretty weak defensively over the last 7 games against the point guard. And again, kind of similar to the last player prop here. You look at points allowed from 3. Okay, overall this year, the Rockets 22nd in the NBA. On the road, and Houston is on the road in Cleveland here. On the road, the Rockets 28th, so the 3rd worst defense in the NBA went on the road this year, giving up 3-pointers to the team. And then last 3 games, and kind of similar to the Hornets, a little bit better numbers, but overall, a clear advantage here. Donovan Mitchell should cover this pretty much all in points, but the assist numbers do help as well. So I think it's a pretty good spot here. Yes, the Rockets overall defensively have been pretty decent versus point guards, but I think Donovan Mitchell obviously transcends matchups as well. So I think it's a really good matchup spot here for Donovan Mitchell. All right, guys, next up, our 3rd player prop in today's video. We're moving on to the Raptors-Sixers game, 7 p.m. tip-off. We have Jakob Poeltl of the Toronto Raptors over 21.5 points plus rebounds, which I am grabbing for -120, best odds available to me over on FanDuel. As always, guys, make sure to shop around for the best sportsbook odds available to you. Now, we're only 10 games here played for Jakob Poeltl, but it's a tale of 2 halves here. You see the first 5 games, 5 straight unders, some really low performances. Last 5 games, he's cashed it all 5 games with some pretty good games. So it's kind of literally 50-50 performance so far this year for Jakob Poeltl. Now, from an overall standpoint, he's averaging 25 minutes per game, taking about 6.5 shots, 14.1 rebound chances. Pretty decent, right? We do narrow down the last 5, where clearly he has gotten hot here. Again, 5 straight cashes. He's averaging 24.8 points plus rebounds per game over the last 5 games. Looking down below here, you do see an increase in usage and an increase in volume of numbers, okay? Rebound chances went from 14 from an overall standpoint to 17.6 rebound chances per game over his last 5 games. Minutes played, averaging 28 minutes per game, so getting a little bit more PT as well. 7.4 shot attempts per game, and he's shooting 81% from the floor this year. Obviously, a lot of his work in the paint is playing very strongly this year. The Sixers versus centers, from an overall standpoint, 23rd in points, 15th in rebounds. So a good matchup spot there to start. Now, you go over here, you scroll down the last 7 games, you still see the Sixers 23rd in points, 28th in rebounds. So it's a very good matchup here for Jakob Poeltl. And you do see the shot zone breakout over the last 10 games. Jakob Poeltl, 95.3% inside the paint. Now, the Sixers have been pretty good defensively in the paint this year. That being said, though, we scroll down here, look at the centers versus the Sixers last week or two here. And even when you see red, the numbers are pretty good. Again, the line for Jakob Poeltl in this spot, we'll go back up here, is 21.5, so he needs 22, okay? Look at recent performance here, Zubac. Now, you see an X because his line was 28.5, but he did finish with 27, so that obviously would cash here. Isaiah Stewart, 21. Paul Reed, 18. You have backup centers in these data points as well. Queta for the Celtics, 18. Luka Garza, the backup center, 17. Jalen Duren, 37. Jared Allen, 34. Vucevic, 29. And again, I know you see an X there, but obviously in our case, that works. So some pretty good numbers of late, a pretty good run. They're giving a lot to centers. So even though they're defending in the paint pretty well overall, I do think Jakob Poeltl is on the higher end of the spectrum in terms of his ability to score in the paint. He also been getting a lot of rebounds lately, so I think it's a good spot here. 5 straight cashes. Let's see if he can't go ahead and do it again in this spot with a pretty favorable matchup. All right, guys, our fourth player prop in today's video. I really like this player prop a lot here. We have Nuggets, Pelicans, 8 p.m. tip-off. We're going with the rookie Jeremiah Fears, which is one of the most exciting young players in the league right now. I've really enjoyed watching him. Also, his jersey number 0 Fears, really cool jersey. Over 20.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. The Pelicans have been a disaster this year, but at least Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears both look pretty good. So Jeremiah Fears over 20.5 points, rebounds, assists. We're grabbing that for -120 over on FanDuel. And you do see the data overall this year is very, very good. A 64% hit rate on the season. He's cashed the over in 9 of 14 games, averaging 21 PRA, that's points, rebounds, assists, per game overall this season. And if we do go ahead and narrow it down a little bit, it looks pretty good. Last 5 games, you see 4 straight games. He's cashed the over, averaging 23 points, rebounds, assists per game over the last 5 games. We look at the volume there for him, and it's pretty good. He's playing about 27 minutes per game. 14 shots per game, 9 rebound chances, 6.3 potential assists. So some pretty decent volume there for him in this spot. And it's really another great matchup spot here. Overall, the Nuggets pretty good defensively. Now, from a season standpoint, okay, points, rebounds, assists, the Nuggets actually do rank pretty well. However, and I think you guys know where I'm going with this here, we go over the dashboard over on GuyBostonSports.com. We scroll down here to the last 7 games, and you do see over the last 7 games here, the Nuggets 29th in points, 28th in rebounds, 14th in assists to opposing point guards. Now, they're very good defending the 3, but guess what? Jeremiah Fears, he's not really doing a lot of his work from 3-point range. Even look at the last 5 games here. He takes about 3 threes per game, averaging about 1.6 made threes, shooting about 53%, which is pretty good. But he doesn't get a lot of his scoring or a lot of his volume from 3-point shooting. It's not really the type of player that he is. Obviously driving the paint, mid-range shot, a lot of different things. But overall, it's a pretty good spot. Again, the Nuggets' last 7 games haven't looked great defending the point guard. He's cashing it pretty consistently. And most importantly, maybe, he already has played them once this year. Back on October 29th, he had 21 points, 1 rebound, and 6 assists in what was a massive blowout loss for the Pelicans. But, he shot very well, 10 for 15, played 30 minutes in that game, had 11 potential assists, finished with 6. So, and he only took 3 threes. Again, he's not a guy who relies on the 3-point shot to score. He already did it once in a big way. I don't see why he can't do it again in this spot here. He cashed this in points alone the last time they played. Really good spot here for Jeremiah Fears. And real quick, guys, before we finish off with our 5th and final player prop in today's video, I want to take this opportunity to go ahead and talk about the sponsor of today's video, Outlier. Most of the data, not all, because obviously we also use the dashboard, which, by the way, shout out the dashboard. Go to GuyBostonSports.com. Check that out as well. But we have been using a lot of Outlier here, and they are a fantastic sports betting tool and the sponsor of today's video, and the sponsor of a lot of our videos here on the channel. Outlier is truly the best sports betting tool on the market. We do offer a link down below in the description that gives you guys a 7-day free trial to check it out for yourself. I only give you guys a little bit of the numbers here, but there's so much more insight, so much more things to go ahead and look at. I mean, we haven't looked at team rankings at all this year, but look at, they give you so much in true shooting percentages, points in the paint allowed, 3-point percentage, 2-point percentage, free throw rate, offensive rebound percentage, turnover, effective field goal percentage, so much. There's so many great, and they're constantly updating and adding more things. If you look at where Outlier was 2 years ago when I started using it to now, it is so much more advanced, so much more detailed and in depth. I love it. I use it in every single one of my videos. I never will stop using it because it really is a fantastic tool. Again, we have a special link down below in the description that gives you guys a 7-day free trial to check it out for yourself. Make sure to do that. Utilize that free trial. You're going to fall in love with Outlier. It'll make you a smarter sports bettor and ultimately a better sports bettor. And last but not least, guys, our fifth and final player prop in today's video. We're moving on to the Kings Thunder game, 8 p.m. tip-off. I've got Chet Holmgren of the Thunder over 28.5 points, rebounds, assists, which I'm grabbing for minus 103 over on Novig. So some pretty good value there on this play as well. Chet has cashed this in 8 of 11 games this season. That's a 73% hit rate, averaging 29.82 PRAs per game this year. If we narrow it down just the last 5 games, 4 of his last 5, he's cashed the over, averaging 30.2 PRAs per game over the last 5 games, even last 10, 7 of his last 10. So whatever way you want to shake it, the data is pretty good here for Chet Holmgren. From a head-to-head perspective, one of the last 2 matchups with the Kings, he's cashed the over. Now, they did just play, less than 2 weeks ago. He had 10.7 rebounds and 1 assist, so he did fall pretty well short of this. What happened in that game? Well, he only played 21 minutes. It was a massive blowout in the favor of the Thunder. He took 9 shots, didn't shoot all that well, but because he only played 21 minutes, he only had 1 potential assist. He had 10 rebound chances. He finished the game with 7 rebounds. So it really just comes down to he just didn't play enough in that game to get the volume we need. Now, is that a fear here? Possibly. It happened once. It could certainly happen again. But from just a matchup perspective, it is a really good matchup here. The Kings overall this year versus power forwards, 24th in points, 17th in rebounds, and 23rd in assists. You go over the dashboard over on Guy Boston Sports, it kind of reiterates a lot of the same stuff. Going down below here, last 7 games versus power forwards, the Kings, 25th in points, 8th in rebounds, and 14th assists. So they've actually been a little bit better defensively versus power forwards over the last 7 games than they have been overall this season. But it is a good matchup spot. Chet is one of the better power forwards. You look at here, centers and power forwards against Sacramento of late. I mean, Harrison Barnes, 25 PRA. Julius Randle, 42. Aaron Gordon, 27. Randle, again, 29. McDaniels, 29. Even versus centers, which he does play some center. I mean, the centers have been going sick, going crazy. Jokic, obviously, massive game. Hartenstein had 55 the last time, so Hartenstein actually might not be a bad look here either. Luke Cornett, Naz Reid, Onyeka Okongwu. You see a lot of the big guys have had a lot of success against the Kings defense of late. Again, Chet, this is only 3 times this year he failed to cash the over. One of those 3 was versus this Kings team. But I do think that was, Isaiah Hartenstein obviously had 55 PRAs. It was a blowout. It was Hartenstein's time to shine. I do think this time around Chet will have a much better result. And you also have the insights provided by Outlier. He has failed. Okay, well, that's not great in our favor. At home, I guess it hasn't been as good. Anyways, I believe in Chet, and that ultimately is all that matters at the end of the day. Guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. I'll be back tomorrow with another NBA player prop video. Until then, guys, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy your Wednesday. Let's go ahead and make some money.